I rise today to reflect on the Olympic Games in Tokyo, which finished on Sunday. Like Senator Chandler, I witnessed performances which, as Senator Chandler put it, captured the essence of the Olympic spirit. It's just a shame that Senator Chandler demonstrated the exact opposite in her contribution last week, to use the word loosely, when she misgendered and denigrated a trans woman athlete, Laurel Hubbard, and her qualification to represent her country at an Olympic Games. Principle 4 of the Olympic Charter states the practice of sport is a human right. Every individual must have the possibility of practising sport without discrimination of any kind and in the Olympic spirit, which requires mutual understanding with the spirit of friendship, solidarity and fair play. Further, Principle 6 states the enjoyment of the rights and freedoms set forth in the Olympic Charter shall be secured without discrimination of any kind, such as race, colour, sex, sexual orientation, language, religion, political or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth or other status. The Australian Human Rights Commission and Sports Australia hold the same vision for sport when in their guidelines for the inclusion of transgender and gender-diverse people in sport, where they state participation in sport is a human right. We are all born free and equal in dignity and rights. Senator Chandler would have you believe people affirm their gender identity for the specific purpose of excellence at a sport and to dominate women's sport. Trans women affirm their gender identity to live as their true selves. They should not lose their human right to participate in any social and cultural practice such as sport. This so-called trans dominance of women's sport is a myth, which people like Senator Chandler use to cause fear, distrust and to cause division in our society. We saw at the Tokyo Olympics a number of firsts. Senator Chandler chose to focus her discrimination on one athlete, but there were a number of trans and non-binary athletes competing at the Tokyo Olympics, including Alana Smith and Quinn, a member of the Canadian women's football team. In fact, Quinn became the first trans or non-binary athlete to win a medal at an Olympic Games when the Canadian women's football team beat Sweden to claim the gold medal. Their accomplishments should be celebrated, not denigrated, as Senator Chandler did last week in this place. As Senator Chandler has said, the IOC has noted there is no evidence of an unfair advantage for trans women of their cisgender counterparts. This is true. There is no evidence of this. There are no studies which include trans women athletes comparing their performance to those of cisgender athletes. As participation in sport is a human right, we should always start from a position of inclusion. The IOC have developed protocols and policies regarding transgender athletes in sport. It is these standards which athletes such as Laurel Hubbard met in order to qualify for these Games. She was humble, thankful and showed real courage at her press conference after the competition at these Games. Laurel Hubbard exemplifies the Olympic spirit and should be celebrated as an Olympian without the question marks Senator Chandler and her ilk would seek to put on this status. This should not have to be continually said, but for Senator Chandler's benefit, I'll state it for the record. Trans men are men. Trans women are women. Non-binary people are non-binary, and their gender identities are valid, and they should not have to tolerate blatant discrimination unchallenged in this place from the likes of Senator Chandler.